Always love to see some all-cav builds, and today is certainly no different. Kislev feeling very step-inspired here. Loopy's build today is all mobility, led by Ostankia. He's got some horse archers as a kind of a main line here. Cost-fight dervishes, winged lancers, and single griffin legion. A couple of warbear riders, and that's it. All mobility. And definitely going to be in for a high micro game, at least from the Kislev side. We've got Ogres on the opposite side here. Looks like a Thunder Tusk there. We've got multiple Lead Belters. And it looks like Noblars, Trappers, and Pigbacks. A couple of Bulls here. One Iron Fist, one regular. Slaughtermaster of Beasts. Going to be looking for some Flocks o' Doom. So let's see how things go. One thing I will say right off the bat, as Mother Ostankia launches her magical bear missile here, which is going to land on the pigbacks in the back and do some very good damage to them. Wow, absolutely nukes that unit. Lore of Hags is probably like the most underexplored lore from my perspective. Like, there's a lot you can do with it potentially. I haven't actually used it all that much. But we do see some engagements starting to play out here. We see one key debuff here I wanted to talk about. Curse of the Ancient Witch, minus 60 armor, minus 50 missile block. Not that the Thunder Tusk has missile block to begin with, but you can see the Griffin Legion on us around getting some really good charge damage, and all the Kosovoid dervishes, horse archers, they've been lining up to dump arrows, volleys away, and you see the Witch Brew there, not to be confused with the Witch Brew held by Witch Elves. This one's an AoE damage effect, dumping a cauldron of hot magic all over these Noblars and helping to rout them away. So Kislev gets a little break right there, also gets a really nice big break in terms of taking out the Thunder Tusk early. There's no healing for the Ogres outside of their army ability as well, so Gulya's healing. Speaking of which, try and keep those dervishes and winged lancers, Griffin Legion, whatnot alive. But obviously with having no infantry, not a lot of meat on this Kislev build, but they've been able to get some key breaks here. At the same time, the Pigback's also getting a pretty decisive rear charge. You see that Witch Brew dumping once again. Getting some good damage on those Pigbacks, but they just annihilated those Winged Lancers on a rear charge there. So looking pretty tough. But Bear Riders continuing to push through, get those Lead Belchers, try and shut them down as best they can. This Warbear Rider is well surrounded with Noblars. There's some Pigbacks that were in there, momentarily at least. We've got some Bulls and whatnot, but yeah. As far as the Pigbacks go, a lot of them have taken a lot of incidental damage from AoEs and from missiles, as they typically do. We see the Thunder Tusk being chased off by a pretty significant force here. There's Dervishes, Horse Archers, and the Griffin Legion all kind of in a conga line there, chasing him off, but Horse Archers using their hybrid melee stats. Good effect here, supporting the Warbear Riders wherever they can, just to charge in. It's definitely a high volume of cavalry. And again, because those Horse Archers are quite good in melee, they can definitely help a lot. Another Bear Bomb drops on those Noblar Trappers, does a ton of damage as Ostankia pulls away. This Warbear Rider is done for. The other Warbear Rider hits By Our Blood. Yeah, By Our Blood, of course, already popped for the other one, but good AoE damage from Ostankia so far. She's up to 200 kills already. Reckon through Noblars, that's only 1,000 damage value. Pretty crazy, to be honest. Lots of chaff in this Ogres build, but both players kind of reforming to a degree. Getting ready for another phase here. All three Lead Belchers still online, which is definitely problematic. We see some Flocks of Doom as well, doing some nice DPS to these Horse Archers. Probably felling maybe a handful of unit models there. But yeah, pretty tough approach as the Ogres line up to fire away. See the Lead Belchers focusing on, I'm not sure what targets exactly, but we've got like these Griffin Legion coming back, cost by Dervishes. The Horse Archers obviously going to be great targets to shoot at, mostly because once they get into contact with the Lead Belchers, the Horse Archers actually trade super cost effective. Very great use case. You can see them kind of shooting as they pursue here. Makes them even better in many ways than a regular melee unit at this sort of role, shutting down this light artillery monstrous infantry. Some more Gulyas there to heal the Horse Archers, try and keep them topped up as much as possible. But a devastating Dismember used to DPS the Griffin Legion. You can see some Pigbacks lining up to countercharge them, and a brutal volley from a regrouped Lead Belcher is going to mostly take them out. Pigbacks got screened here by the Horse Archers quite nicely. The Griffin Legion We managed to still make contact. Horse archers collapse from the other side and managed to get home on the lead belchers. Kislev horse archers with their beautiful sabers riding in tall hats, plenty, and some brutal flock of doom from the opposite side. And that lower beast Slaughtermaster upgraded for additional duration. It's going to be very devastating. Yeah, all those horse archers pretty much rout, and Ostankia is left by herself, more or less. A handful of them did hit by our blood, which means they'll continue shooting as they kind of wheel around here and look for another engagement. Loopy doing a really nice job of finding the gaps, sneaking past these pigback riders as much as he can. Part of the unit does get caught up somewhat here, but again, that point-blank shooting of bows just actually kills a few unit models outright. They don't hold their leadership long enough to get home to the lead belchers, but Stankia forming a real nice blob for another Witch Brew. Is going to continue getting some nice DPS. Griffin Legion. Again, it's just everything Kislev can do at this point to get home on these lead belchers and shut them down. They don't have a lot of HP to begin with, but even a handful of heavy cavalry here could do plenty of work. Griffin Legion, though, are extremely wounded. They're going to just go ahead and shatter at this point. There's only, what, 4 of them left? Yeah, understandable. But Stankia does manage to get a pretty big leadership break here on a bunch of units, including lead belchers critically. This other one did come back from rout. They're now going to have a little skirmish fight with these horse archers, but multiple horse archers from multiple angles. Dismember being used to just DPS one down. Honestly, not a bad play, but they did have enough arrows to also rout the lead belchers there, so definitely anyone's game at this point. But Stankia is in a pretty commanding position. It must be said, the fact that she's got this big leadership route ongoing. Kislev kind of has a little bit of a, like, initiative advantage, if you will. Horse Archer's going to eat another Flock of Doom, but probably make contact on this charge. Let's see. As they get in against the Lead Belchers. Now, Fire Blood already procced, but they do manage to just finish off the Lead Belchers before they themselves also pretty much shatter there. So, yeah, it comes down to just Ostankia at this point for Kislev. And she's got a decent amount of ammunition left, so going to use that against some of these trappers and whatnot. Pop the Golias on herself, refresh that vigor a little bit, give herself a little bit of HP. Golias, honestly, is not the most healing in the world. It's more like a trickle heal, if anything, but it does technically help. Also got one more Spirit Bear. No more Spirit Bears. I was going to say, I think she's used them already. But another brutal Witch Brew there, going to cut through the Pigback Riders, which are definitely most threatening infantry unit at this point, no question. Stanky actually doesn't really get a good charge through them right there. She's going to eat some more throwing daggers, and Pigbacks get a really nice surround. Is this going to be the end for Ostankia? First, the Ancient Witch actually on the Pigback Riders themselves, trying to break them, but Ostankia, oh, she pulls away, barely holds her leadership together. Yeah, losing ground indeed. As Ostankia charges the trappers. You can see the bulls here. Pigback Riders pulling up. Fireblood is going to proc. Will it be enough to hold her leadership long enough to win? She does manage to actually shatter the trappers, break the pigbacks, but it's the Slaughtermaster himself and the like 1 or 2 remaining bulls left that are going to be a problem. Stankia pulls away, and I'd imagine as soon as Fireblood's gone, she's just going to shatter here. But let's see. Imagine army losses is technically kicked in already. Yep, there it is. So, a narrow victory for the Ogres. Honestly, nice to see Loopy take a little bit of an unusual build for Kislev, certainly. Ogres being pretty strong right now. I haven't honestly workshopped this matchup enough to know whether this is like necessarily meta, but it definitely seems like Ogres can do a lot of things, and, you know, some new tools are potentially really strong, so it kind of makes sense not want to take too much infantry against them. I have to say, I'm surprised how poorly the Warbear Riders actually did. Honestly, the Horse Archers carry this build in a pretty big way. Stanky as well, 400 plus kills, 40,000 damage dealt, 2,700 damage gold value, just anti-infantry menace here. Unfortunately, then, just the rest of the build wasn't able to support enough. Yeah, I mean, Winged Lancers, Griffin Legion kind of getting crushed. Griffin Legion did okay, but, yeah. Yeah, Seagod's here, credit to him, staying strong, standing firm. Slaughtermaster of the Lower Beasts here gets some nice value. Pigbacks also just such a strong unit, definitely a menace also, but, like, manageable by certain things. The AoE damage was enough to limit at least one of them, I should say, from paying for itself. But the other ones definitely make up for it. I do think pigback riders need to be more expensive, and probably a slight nerf as well, but overall, fun battle. Lead Belchers do their thing. And yeah, Thunder Tusk, probably one of the worst games I've seen from it, honestly. But Loopy did put in a lot of resources to try and get it off the field, so that's part of it as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, though. That's it for me today. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.